What? Barney? Oh, come on, Barney! Barney, stop eating the car! Come on, get out of here. I gotta do a review. Get out of here, okay? We'll get you some steaks later, okay, buddy? Sorry, it's mating season. This is the new 2023 Ford Bronco Raptor. And the Raptor is a nameplate used by Ford to distinguish its high-performance pickup trucks and SUVs. So that means that this is the cream of the crop trim for the Ford Bronco line. It's taller, wider, longer, has more power, more off-road capabilities, and it even looks great naked. An interesting fact about the Ford Bronco Raptor is that while it was under development, its codename was the Warthog. And that reminds me of a certain Warthog in a certain game, maybe called Halo. And if you look at this naked, it kind of resembles the Warthog. Maybe they could have used the Warthog as its actual trim name, but the Raptor has a really good reputation already. I'm Dave, and you're watching Imagine Autos.
ImagineAutos.com is the premier video-centric car shopping portal with over 1.5 million vehicles. When using the website or the app, you have access to video spotlights from our walk-around style footage of the exact car you're looking to purchase. Let's say you want to look at the conditions of the tires. All you have to do is click on the tire icon, and the video will jump ahead to show you the car's tires. ImagineAutos.com helps you imagine your next car today, and our app allows users to experience augmented reality of new cars. With this feature, you can place that new car in your driveway or out on the road. So head on over to ImagineAutos.com to see for yourself.
The Ford Bronco Raptor base MSRP starts at $74,000 without any optional extras. Now the one we have here has the Luxe package, hot pepper red premium paint job, and a few other optional extras that we'll go over in the review. Now this one totals in about $82,000 MSRP before any delivery, destination fees, and the markups that we see a lot these days. Before we get started in this video going over all the cool features about this Ford Bronco Raptor, I just want to thank Scarsdale Ford here in New York for lending us their Ford Bronco Raptor for this review today. So if you're in the area and you're looking for a car, come check out Scarsdale Ford here in New York. Being a Raptor, this Bronco has the most horsepower in its lineup. This comes with a twin turbocharged 3-liter EcoBoost V6 engine that produces 418 horsepower and 440 foot-pound of torque and is paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission. This Bronco Raptor can go from 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds for a vehicle that weighs 5,800 pounds or 2.6 metric tons. The towing capacity of the Raptor is up to 4,500 pounds from 3,500 pounds in the lower trims. So what does that mean when it comes to fuel efficiency? Well, for those that care, this thing will get you about 14 to 17 miles per gallon, and it may vary depending how you're driving. So for those that are going off-road on the trail, I'm gonna say single digits probably. Now, before we move on, I just want to point out that this engine is not the same one as in the F150 Raptor. That one's a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 engine that produces 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. Now the Ford Bronco Raptor looks really different from its standard siblings, and that's because one of the things you're gonna get is this giant 37-inch tires that come standard with the Raptor trim. And with these 37-inch tires comes with an upgraded suspension system, and this has 13 inches of ground clearance. That means that if a baby T-Rex was chasing me, I can literally hide under this Bronco Raptor. Now with the upgraded suspension and the axles, the track width of this Bronco is 8 inches wider than the standard Bronco. And that also means that this Bronco has to be wider than the standard, and it's wider by 10 inches. In fact, it's so wide that it's legally required to have these 3 marker lights, because if it's larger than 80 inches in width, it's considered a commercial vehicle, and that is mandatory. And because of these massive tires and the wider track width, it comes with a much larger fender flare just to cover up these tires from killing other people when it shoots up all these rocks at you. Because the Bronco Raptor is an off-roader, it is expected to take a beating and some damage. So there's a lot of design elements here that help protect the Raptor from damage. For example, there's a bit here on the fender flare that looks a bit out of place. That's because this part of the fender flare is expected to take more damage, so that when it gets scuffed up and damaged, this part is easy to replace and cheaper to replace than the whole fender flare. The side steps or running boards on the side is there because this Bronco is so tall, you're gonna need them to help you get in the Bronco. But you can take them off when you're going out on the trail. It's already mounted on some rock rails. So that rock rail right there is to help protect the underside of the body from any boulders, rocks that you might run into. The Bronco Raptor is designed for customers that are gonna be off-roading, and they have put in a massive skid plate underneath that extends far enough back, and other protection plates that'll cover the engine, fuel tank, and transfer case. If you look carefully at the front bumper, you can see that there are ends that you can take off so that it gives the wheels more room to be able to travel when you're conquering big rocky trails. Now let's talk about the look of this Bronco Raptor. I mean, this mean looking machine just basically screams power! The front of the Bronco Raptor looks great to me, and the grille has Ford in bold lettering, and that only comes in the Raptor trim. It'll say Bronco in the normal trim. Another exclusive to the Raptor version are these amber glowing lights in the front. Now remember when I said that these marker lights are mandatory because of regulations? Well, there's more. The mandatory regulations means that there needs to be marker lights at the back of the vehicle that has to be red, and also at the very edges of the vehicle. So the side mirrors have the marker lights in the front, which are amber, and then for the back view, the red on the other side of the side mirrors. Now let's take a look at the back of the Bronco Raptor. It is dominated by this massive 37-inch spare tire, and also the massive rear brake lights that covers your back view. The back view is dismal in the rear view mirror, and they really should have just added another camera here so that you can have a rear view camera with a unobstructed view of the back of this Bronco. Now, because of the massive spare tire, there's only one way you can actually open the cargo bay area, because this won't open if you don't open the bottom first, and the same when you try to close it. The cargo area is a good size for what it is, and you can see these bars, which are rollover protection bars, that once you take off all the panels on the roof, the doors, it makes it look like the project codename Warthog from Halo. There's some storage underneath, a 12-volt outlet, and this tiny little bin on the side to put small items that you don't want to have shaking around. Now I'm really curious on how much cargo space we get once we put down the back seat. So first put down the headrest, and then flip the switch. Man, I wish this wasn't here though, because maybe we can make this Bronco Raptor a camping one. I mean, I guess if you're out in the desert, no, it gets cold at night. You want that door closed. It's a little bit too short to sleep two people, but one person, maybe on the side with some kids like this, you can make it. Or maybe just, for shorter people. Now, our Bronco Raptor comes with the optional extra Raptor graphics, just in case people can't figure out that you have a Bronco Raptor. Maybe the badges that come standard is not enough, like this Raptor badge here, this Raptor badge here, and this Raptor badge here is just not enough. If we take a look at the center of the hood, we see all these vents, which are all functional, by the way, and the side vents to help cool down this engine on a hot desert run. Before we get inside the Bronco Raptor, there's some really cool Easter eggs on the Bronco Raptor. There are dates on the vents that signify all the years that the Bronco won the Baja race. Another cool Easter egg is under the fuel cap, and it has all the generations of the Ford Bronco embossed in the plastic. So our Bronco Raptor has the Lux package, so we have the keypad entry for the driver's side, and this color almost looks like the code orange that is synonymous with the Raptor line, but this is actually hot pepper red. It is a premium paint. So if you get other paint jobs, you're not going to get the classic code orange color that is known for Raptors, but the inside is code orange. You see the code orange accented in the handle, the stitching on the steering wheel, the shift knob, the center dial, the stitching in the seats, the vents, and the Bronco logo on the dash. So just in case you forgot you had a Raptor, the interior will remind you. The steering wheel is extra beefy, it's thicker than the standard Bronco, and wow, it feels really nice, to be honest. This leather is soft, supple and very, very beefy. We have 4 unique buttons that only comes in the Raptor version, and all the way on the right, we can change the sound volume of the exhaust. So I can be changing it to quiet, normal, sport, and Baja. The second button is the suspension. We can adjust the suspension dampener to normal, sports, or off-road mode to give it more flex when we're driving over very rough terrain. Now on the left side of the steering wheel, we have the feel of the steering wheel, which we can change to sport, normal, or comfort. And the final exclusive button is the Raptor button. And you are probably thinking what I'm thinking. And by pressing this, it's like giving your vehicle extra nos, extra power, so that you can really drive over rough terrain or speed down the highway or on the road. But that is not true. This actually just configuration settings so that you can configure your special mode, and you can just press the button and it'll do all the configurations that you like. Now in the center console, we have this special dial called GOAT modes. Now GOAT is the greatest of all time mode, of course, but that actually stands for going on all terrain, so that we can change it to 7 different terrain modes. There's a couple of exclusive modes, such as tow and haul, for it to be able to tow 4,500 pounds. And only in the Raptor, we have Baja mode for those high-speed desert driving. Now, when you are in off-road or Baja mode, you actually get to see the front camera, so that when you are ever rock climbing and you only see the sky, you are able to still see where your wheels are going in the front, so that you don't accidentally hit large boulders, or if you're on the edge of a cliff, you know and you're sure that your car is gonna be on solid ground and not driving off a cliff. In the Bronco Raptor, we have all these auxiliary switches built right into the vehicle. Now, these actually don't connect anything by default. These are just switches so that you can add additional optional extras yourself, such as a winch, floodlights, light bars, and you can directly link it to these switches, so you don't have to drill any holes and add your own custom switches that probably won't look as good. So great idea for Ford here. On top of the dash, we have these buttons here that helps you configure the off-road characteristics of the Raptor. And the Raptor also comes with a USB port right on top of the dash, so that you can plug in and keep your GoPro or any action cameras charged while you are off-roading. That's strange. How come there's only the door lock button on the door? Where's the window and mirror controls? That's because the doors are fully removable when you want to go full naked mode. And if you want to adjust the mirrors and open the windows, it's all in the center console. Now the gauge cluster display behind the steering wheel is fully digital, and you can change some of these settings for your screen. Here you can configure the center to get some information about your Raptor. So here we can look at information about the Raptor status, the off-road status, your gauges, your measurements. There's a lot of information you can customize. So this gives you a lot of options to customize some information for you while you're off-roading with your Raptor. It does come with more charging options, USB-A and C, and it has a wireless charging pad, which, to be honest, this should have done something where you can actually cover your phone or make it MagSafe, because when you're off-roading, your phone's gonna be like popping up and down out of there. The Bronco Raptor comes with a big 12-inch infotainment screen that is quite responsive when pressing around. And it also displays 2 different screens in the same time. So you have a smaller view over here. So right now we can see that there's a radio and the navigation, but we can flip it by pressing that button there. And now we can see the radio as the main and the navigation as a side menu. So that is actually quite cool to have. This also comes equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay if you want to pair up your phone instead of just using the onboard navigation and other apps. This does come equipped with cameras to give you a 360 surround bird's eye view of the vehicle, and a backup camera so that you can see what's behind you when backing up. Let's take a look at the rear passenger seats here in the Bronco Raptor. Oh, actually it's quite comfortable. A little upright, I think, but we have these grates so you can like kind of latch or weave things in here. We have a mesh pocket that you can put stuff in when you're off-roading. And again, because the doors are fully removable, the window controls are in the center, and we have USB-A, USB-C charging ports, and a household outlet so you can plug in something bigger. Now the roof and ceiling of the Bronco is fully removable, but the Raptor version has thicker beams than the standard, so it's more rigid, and probably the materials are thicker and stronger for the roof panels in the Raptor version, so I heard that there's less road noise. So we're gonna find that out when we're gonna be driving down the road. Now we're taking the Bronco Raptor out for a quick test drive around the area. We won't be able to take this on the highway or off-road, but it is a beast from what we've seen. So here are some to check out. Looking out the windshield of the Bronco Raptor, it looks like you are looking out of a pillbox. It is a very stout windshield. So the visibility is not too bad, but there are times where the small little area right in the middle where the rear view mirror is, I can't see that well. And looking out at the back of the rear view mirror, I could barely see the cars behind me. So that is definitely an issue. They should have definitely added a rear view camera so that there's no obscuring tire and rear brake lights. Surprisingly, it is very nice to drive. Even though this is such a big and wide car, I don't feel like I'm actually taking up too much space. But if you do look in the mirrors, you'll see that you are eating up quite a lot of the lane. And sometimes on smaller roads, you're definitely eating up all the lane. So right now, I can't see the car behind me at all. I can actually see just the side mirrors peeking out on the side of the rear brake lights. I can tell when there's a car behind me by looking at the side mirror. So the rear view mirror is basically useless. Ugh. Now, based off of the noise, I can definitely tell that if I was on the highway, there's gonna be some wind noise and road noise coming through the body. Even with the suspension, I think it's just because these panels can come completely off that they're not as insulating as you would like. One thing for sure though, if I need power, I'm getting power out of this thing. I need to go, it'll go. Obviously, it's probably not as fast as you probably want it to be because 0 to 60 time is, I believe, just under 6 seconds. But if you think about it, this thing is almost 6,000 pounds. So going 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds, damn. The Ford Bronco Raptor owes its pedigree to the original F-150 Raptor that we have here. This came out over 10 years ago, and the goal of it was to create a high performance off-road vehicle that the average consumer can buy and have fun with on the weekends. And that is exactly what the Ford Bronco does. It is a gorgeous looking car, aggressive, powerful. I love the way it looks. It's definitely not for everyone. It is not a practical car for everyday use, but that is not the customer Ford was aiming for. So for those, probably the standard Bronco is better, but I gotta say, I love the Bronco Raptor.
Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.